records yourself from April Millsap's phone to provide to him?
The phone records for April was, a search warrant was conducted, and yes, I don't know if he got those records or not.
You received them, correct?
Right.
Okay. Did you also subpoena records for Mr. VanCallis?
Yes.
Okay. And you obtained those as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have those here? For the crucial period of July 24th, incoming, outgoing, and missed calls. Do you know if you have those here in your file?
We have them on a hard drive. I mean, they're quite lengthy. We have 7 months each.
Okay, but I'm talking about just the crucial period. Would it be possible for you to retrieve just the crucial period of July 24th, say from noon to late at night?
Judge, I guess my objection is he has these records, so I don't know. First of all, what the relevancy is. Second of all, we had an expert testify. Mr. Hess testified, Mr. Special Agent Hess testified as to call detail records, and Special Agent Zentz testified as to the fitness application animation. She's indicated she has the records, but I'm not quite sure what we're getting into at this point. And if he has records he wants to show her, that's fine, but we're going to be here for a while. If she needs to go through 7 months of records, or if we're going to have to get a printer in here to print out particular dates.
What are you exactly looking for? Ask her.
Okay, before I ask her, may I respond to Mrs.
Well,
Day?
letting you ask her the question. What is your next question? And let's get to what you want instead of 700 different records.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I never asked this. I kept clarifying I want just July 24th from, let's say, noon till 8 p.m. Do you have those records easily accessible for Mr. VanCallis and April Millsap?
I don't have them printed out.
Okay.
They were always given to us in a digital format.
Okay, and did you look at them more than once? Several times?
Yes.
Okay. If I were to show you printouts that I have that I got from the discovery, would you be able to tell if they looked like a fair representation of what was handed me, or if it looked like they had been fudged with in some manner?
I can look at them.
Okay. Is that, I'll show them to you as well when the time comes. My point is that when we had Special Agent Zent and Special Agent Hess come in here and testify, their testimony was basically that they did and created things based on information that they were given. And that's why I'm asking for the information that they got, and if they got any from you, and if you know what information was accurate, what was complete. That's the gist of my response to Mr. Daly's.
Because I'm not sure what you're asking me for specifically.
Well, actually, at this point, I'm not asking anything, but just clarifying the fact that the reason I wanted to know is that the information that was provided to Hess and Zent came from the investigation, correct?
Right.
And that's what they used to make the animation from, correct?
We gave Zentz the physical phone that was April's phone that we found out on Omo. I can't say what he did specifically after that. That's his testimony.
Okay. All right, just hang on 1 second. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. And I believe you gave standing permission to approach witness?
What you're showing.
Oh, yes, sir.
That is from the extraction from biggest.
Just show you this if you want to get familiar with it. Second, there's to whom the calls are listed. Sometimes, and of course, we're talking. So just familiarize yourself with this for 1 second.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'm going to stand here so we can both look at this at the same time. There's a call that's indicated, at least according to this extraction, to Donnie at 7:24, correct? I'm sorry, on July 24th at 21:14.
Correct.
And the duration is 1 minute and 47 seconds.
Correct.
And there's another one to Donnie at, also on July 24th, that's the only date we're going to look at on here. And that is at 20:59, which would be just almost 9 o'clock, right?
Correct.
And that's 30 seconds.
Correct.
And there's another call to Donnie at like 21 seconds after 9 almost, or just about 9 o'clock. And again, that one is 29 seconds.
Correct.
And there's another one that says to Dad VanCallis, and that's at what would be 8:20 on the 24th, and that's 43 seconds.
Correct.
And then there's one at, also on the 24th to Craig, which, from information, do you understand at least that there's one person named Craig that is one of the husbands of one of the sisters of Mr. VanCallis?
Yes.
Okay, we don't know for sure it's that Craig, but just for the record. And that's at 19:55, right?
Correct.
Which would be just before 8 o'clock, correct?
Correct.
And that's at 1 minute and 17 seconds, correct?
That's the length of.
That's the length of the call duration. And we're almost done. And there's another one to Donnie at 18:14, which is 6:14, 1 minute and 41 seconds, correct?
Correct.
Another one to Donnie at 17:55, 33 seconds.
Correct.
Another one to Donnie at 17:39, which would be 5:39 at 16 seconds.
Correct.
Another one to Donnie at actually basically almost the same time for 33 seconds. That's 17:39 and 13 seconds, correct?
Correct.
And then another one to Donnie at 14:46, which would be 2:46 in the afternoon for about 3 seconds, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And we'll go up to noon. And then there's another one also at 14:45 to Donnie for 25 seconds, right?
Right.
And the last one that we're looking, well, the last ones we're looking at prior to noon. There's one at 11:56 for 3 seconds, but we don't know who to whom, correct?
It's just a phone number.
It's just a
there.
phone number. And then it looks like the same number again on the 24th at 11:56, and that's for 6 seconds, correct?
Correct.
And just for our record is clear, these two that are on 7:24, one at 11:56 and one at 42, and one at 11:56 and 19, they are both to the same 586 number, correct?
Right. 586-779-7623.
Do you have any reason to doubt the accuracy of this?
Well, it doesn't have a heading of what phone you got that off of, but
This,
I would say that was from VanCallis. It says to Donnie.
Yeah, it is from Mr. VanCallis, but in other words...
That's from the phone itself, not call detail records.
Right, these are the ones that were extracted by Higginson, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you what else. Detective, may I ask you to step down, please, and bring your pointer? Just for the record, this is the depiction made by Special Agent Hess, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, those calls that we talked about a lot of calls between noon and virtually 8 o'clock at night. Do you see them listed on here? From Mr. VanCallis' phone?
Well, there's no phone numbers associated with this.
Okay, but you see, how many calls do you see listed on there? Altogether.
I can't interpret this graph for what, this is not my product. I didn't create it, and I don't know. I mean, I can guess, but I'm not gonna, I don't feel comfortable testifying to it.
Well, let's take this to as far as your comfort level will allow you to go, okay?
Judge, you know what, she already indicated it. These are questions for Special Agent Hess, and he was cross-examined. There are other slides Special Agent Hess put on. There are other phone calls, I believe, listed in other slides by Special Agent Hess. They're already
Clearly
admitted.
said she's not familiar with this graph. She can't testify about something she's not familiar with.
I also don't think she has any expertise in this area, nor in creating this exhibit for court.
Your Honor, as I indicated, I only asked her to go as far as she is comfortable. All I was going to ask her is to outline that there's 4 calls listed on there, which is significantly less than the calls we just went through on the record. I think she would be qualified to indicate
Well, that
that.
was an interesting offer of proof. Without, you've already said, listen to the witness. The witness already said, I'm not comfortable testifying to this. I didn't do it. So then to ask her, well, let's go as far as you're comfortable. Well, that's already happened. She already indicated she's not an expert in this area, didn't create this, doesn't know about it.
I agree.
Thank
The
you.
objection is sustained.
Your Honor, are you indicating I can ask her no more questions about the...
She has no familiarity with that graph.
Would it have been important in your specialty as OIC in this case for Agent Hess and or Agent Zent to have plotted all the calls that April made as well as that Mr. VanCallis made to see if there is any overlap?
They're the experts. I'll leave it to them.
Just one second. Okay, one last question, all right? If somebody were to look at that chart and saw that there were 4 calls on there, that's significantly less than the number of calls you and I just itemized. Would you agree with that?
Judge, objection, already ruled.
I'm not asking her to give opinion. I'm asking her if
She
she
can
could...
answer that question.
I don't know if you want to look at
If
that.
someone were to look at it.
I'm sorry?
You said if someone were to look at it?
Right, if someone were to look at that chart, if my
I can't
recollection...
answer for another person.
Well, okay, let's forget. We could put the chart up. I'll ask you, could you put that chart back up, please, sir? Bring your pointer, please. Just indicate how many phone calls you see itemized on there.
Judge, I want to object as to relevancy. The exhibit speaks for itself. They can count.
She can answer that question. Go ahead.
Just point to each one and tell how many calls you see on that depiction, please.
Well, I can't really say because I know I didn't prepare it like I said, and I know what you're getting at, but I just can't count the numbers and say these correlate with actual phone calls.
Okay, let me ask you this. Just what's depicted. Do you see one call depicted here? Do you see one call depicted here at
I'll
1755?
say this is 1755.
Okay. Do you see another time depicted there? 2 times.
This is 1739.14 and 1804.34.
And do you see one more time depicted there?
1739.53.
Do you see any other times besides the 4 that you just enumerated listed there?
It's down here.
But yeah, not counting those, just in the body of the map itself.
That's it.
Thank you. You can have a seat. You can shut that off. And in the number of calls that I just went through with you, were they or were they not more than 4?
Yes.
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else?
You indicated you had, I think, like 7 months worth of phone calls, right?
Correct.
So there's a lot more phone calls than those 4 on that one slide, right?
Yes,
There's a relevant time frame put right on that slide. Is that correct?
correct.
So we don't want to leave it to the jury to. A couple of questions, and I'm not going to go back over everything. There were some photographs earlier, and I'm not going to put the picture back up, but do you recall Mr. Sheik asking you about some white at a certain part of the motorcycle?
Yes,
On the motorcycle that Lieutenant Abro was astride?
yes, the one on the right.
Yes. Was he actually engaged in moving that motorcycle under motorized power with his feet up off the ground and his feet back on a peg?
No, he was walking the bike.
Have you, in the course of your career as a state trooper, had occasion to ride a motorcycle?
Yes, I have.
Were you assigned actually as a motorized trooper on a state trooper motorcycle?
Yes, I was.
When you ride a motorcycle, do your knees come up if you are putting them onto a peg?
Yes.
How did you know what size shoes to purchase for the State Police Lab to analyze compared to the footprints on April?
Crystal Stadler gave us that information?
That size 12 came from her?
Yes.
And as to how the shoes were figured out, I mean, we have all these videos, but going back to the beginning, as the case was initially investigating, there's this idea, or it's been suggested, that you tried to pick something that looked the same on the bottom and then send them to the lab.
No.
Is that what happened?
No.
What happened?
Well, after the information came from Crystal Stadler about black and white shoes, we knew we were looking then for black and white shoes. And it was Sergeant Melissa Stevens who had found the picture on Facebook of the defendant standing by an SUV with his black and white shoes.
Is that the photograph that's been admitted?
Right. And so based on that, we went online and we found shoes that looked like the same design, you know, the black and white. And then once we found them, Chief Smith ordered a pair online. Of course, we could not get the black and white in size 12, so
And
we
we've
got
covered
the
that.
blue. Yeah. And then I should clarify, after that point, black and white shoes were ordered, but they're in a smaller size.
And that's the pair that we showed to the jury this morning.
Right, and those were not examined.
As far as, one last question, I guess I had this idea that Crystal Stadler went back to the house at some point to retrieve some items. Was that several weeks after the search warrant on the 30th?
It was August 12th that she went back for what we call a standby.
And was there actually, you said no member of the task force was there, was there a state trooper there?
There was 2 state troopers there.
Was there a member of the defendant's family there?
Yes, I mean there's video of in-car camera that captures what looks like to be his mother talking to the troopers.
All right. I don't have any other questions, thank you.
Good afternoon again. Briefly, I know Mr. Daly indicated you have like 7 months worth of telephone records for April Millsap as well as Mr. VanCallis, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now you know that not you know, but I mean, would you agree that the relevant time period is the 24th from probably noon till 8 p.m.?
The relevant time was the time of our murder.
Okay, let's say it's 7:30 or something, or 6:30 or 6:41.
Well, we actually, thanks to the Fitbit, we know it was 6:28 when the text message comes in. Then there's that activity in the woods. That's from 6:30 to about 6:44. So that's the relevant time period.
Okay, and am I guessing saying that's about 16 minutes, is that about 38 or 28 to 44? All right, 10 to 15 minutes. So that period is relevant, but a little bit before from when April left her house at 5:30 would be important, right? Would you think, or no? Just to see who she was in contact with just prior to what happened.
I'm not sure.
So are you saying that only the telephone records of that time at approximately 6:44 are relevant?
For whose phone?
Actually, for either's phone, but definitely...
Well, we have those records.
Right, but what I'm asking you is that Mr. Daly indicated to you that you have 7 months' worth of records and that it would be voluminous for you to go into them before the jury. The crucial time period can be defined in parameters that are much smaller than 7 months, correct? Whether you use 12 noon till 8 p.m. or whether you use 6:28 to 6:44 p.m., you can narrow that parameter down, correct?
I guess relevant is how you interpret it.
Okay. Now, back to the matter of the shoe. Back to the shoes. First of all, as the Civilian Servant Act testified, he appeared at the scene and he saw that there were some track marks on April's body, correct? Or what seemed to be foot impressions.
Objection, he's already testified to that.
Well, I'm asking you to clear up something that Mr. Daly just asked her. I was just giving that as a background, but I can move on.
Go ahead. You can ask.
So you knew that foot impressions were important, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Then subsequent to that, Crystal indicated in one of her subsequent interviews that the shoes that Mr. VanCallis had provided to the investigators, which are the K-Swiss shoes, were not the shoes he was wearing that night. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then you started looking at videos to see if he was wearing any black and white shoes or something that matched those tread marks, correct?
Actually, it was just Sergeant Stevens who went on Facebook and said, these are him wearing black and white shoes.
Okay.
So that's when the focus came on those shoes.
Okay, so there's nothing definitive that indicates, there's no logo or anything that indicates that those black and white shoes are even what type of shoes they are, correct?
Well, you can clearly see on the video the design on the top of the shoe.
Well, the designer, but there's nothing that indicates that those are Nike size 12 or Air Jordan or whatever they are, right?
They look just like them.
Okay. You're saying it's a configuration of the black and white, the way that goes. Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the two that were tested were, one were the same size but in a different color, and then another one in the same size, in the same color but a different size. Is that correct?
We never tested the black and white shoes that were just for demonstration. Those were never tested.
Okay. Those are just simply to show the tread pattern? Am I
No,
understanding
those
that?
are to show the black and white colors of the top of the shoe.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
I have nothing.
Thank you. You're excused.
This time you're going to let people rest.
All right, folks, we're going to take a break, probably about 15 minutes. So if you want to go on out and get something to drink, back yourself out.
All right, for the jury.